are the professional. You are the one in charge of the conversation. It is the customer's job to try and throw you off the process of the conversation. It is your job as a professional to control the conversation in a professional way. Let's ramp up and increase your life insurance production. On today's highlight episode, that's exactly what we're going to be sharing, our life insurance strategies that can help take your life insurance production to the next level. Speaking of that, if you haven't already, make sure you click the link below. I'm going to be doing webinars that are going to give you tangible takeaways that you can take away immediately. And don't forget about our 30 Life in 5 Days challenge that is about to start. If you could benefit from writing 30 life policies in 5 days, and I don't know who couldn't benefit, make sure you join us on this challenge. It is always a ton of fun. Anything and everything you would like to know are in the show notes below. So make sure you check it out. Click down there. With that being said, let's start the show. Do not do this. So if you're doing this right now, you are killing the entire question and why I use the Mortgage Payoff Protector conversation. I'll get into that here in a second. But how she would respond is, well, what I mean by the Mortgage Payoff Protector is that it's actually a life insurance policy or life insurance plan, and what it's going to do for you. She would go into the features and benefits. But most importantly, she would say, what I mean is it's a life insurance policy. Do not do this. Do not. This will kill the conversation. This will kill the sale, which is exactly what was happening in her situation. She would explain it, and what would the customer do? The customer would say, hey, I'm not interested in life insurance. This is a new business. I'm calling for my auto insurance. Who said anything about life insurance? Or, hey, nope, I got it through work. I'm good. You can relate. I can relate. Do not do that. Do not say that. We are not getting into this is a life insurance plan and this is what it covers. We are not getting into features and benefits. What I want you to do and how to set yourself up for success and the customer. And remember, you are the professional. You are the one in charge of the conversation. It is the customer's job to try and throw you off the process of the conversation. It is your job as a professional to control the conversation in a professional way. And so when you enter into that initial conversation of, hey, real fast, what does your Mortgage Payoff Protector plan look like in the event that you don't go home to your family, you pass away today unexpectedly, your family receives a check or will receive a check big enough and large enough to be able to cover the mortgage. They never have to worry about how they're going to make that next payment, maybe being forced to sell the house, and worst case scenario, possibly even filing bankruptcy. What does that look like? And when the customer responds with, what are you talking about? Never heard that. Explain that to me again. What do you mean exactly? This is not where you go in and explain what we're talking about. This is when you ask another question. Well, what I mean by this is, in the event that if you did pass away today unexpectedly, would it be important to you? You see where I changed that? Would it be important to you that your family did receive a check large enough to be able to pay off the mortgage since they're no longer receiving your income, so they don't have to struggle and worry about how they're making that next payment? Again, maybe being forced to sell the house, worst case scenario, filing bankruptcy. That's what I mean. Would it be important to you? Or what do you have in place? But I like the would it be important to you because we're going for the yes here. And when they tell you yes, again, we're not explaining that this is a life insurance plan yet. We are not going into the features and benefits because you have nothing to educate the customer on because you don't know the problem yet. What problem are you solving besides you know that they don't have anything yet? Or yes, it would be important to them. That's all you know, but you don't know the actual problem. You don't know the pain point. You don't know what they want to be taken care of. Maybe they want more than just the mortgage taken care of. This is when you go into more questions. Imagine what writing 30 life policies in 5 days, yes, 30 life in 5 days would do for your career, for your business, for you right now. And we have our 30 Life in 5 Days Challenge coming up in just a couple weeks. We want to make sure that you take part of this. This is something that we've been doing now for 4 or 5 years. We've done it numerous times. Every single time, multiple agencies write well over 30 Life in 5 days. And what I'm most proud of is the premium is always amazing. Not only are they writing 40 Life in 5 days, but they're writing 40,000 in premium in 5 days. So if you are interested in finding out more around why agents take part in the 30 Life in 5 days challenge, make sure that you take advantage. Click the link below, check it out, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Tomorrow is go time. It's time to take massive action. Action, action, action. Attitude, effort, and accountability, right? So action, you got to take action. So let's do this. So tomorrow, what I want you to do is I want you to make this pivot. I don't want you to make this pivot one time. I want you to make this pivot to every single customer you talk to. Every single customer you talk to, you can do this for one day. You can do it for one day. Every single customer you talk to, that is a homeowner. That's a homeowner. I want you to make this pivot. You will see results from this. So when you have helped them out, I'm going to teach you how to bring this up on a service transaction. I'm also going to share how to incorporate this on a new business P&C sales conversation, right? So here we go. Let's start with the pivot off of a service transaction first. So when you get done servicing the customer, make sure they have a remarkable experience. Make sure you take care of their problem. Make sure you build rapport with them, warm them up. How have they been? Glad the kids are back to school. Did you go on any vacations? Then take care of the issue at hand, why they're calling, whether it's a payment, whether it's a question, whether they're wondering if they can get a quote on a new vehicle, whatever it is. And then before you hang up the phone, you're going to ask this question. So ask this question right here. This is all for all homeowners. For all homeowners, anyone that owns a home. If they call you tomorrow, you see in their profile that they own a home, ask this question. Mr. or Mrs. Customer, before I let you off the phone, I don't see any notes on file regarding your Mortgage Payoff Protector plan. Let me ask you real fast. In the event that you were to pass away today unexpectedly, you don't go home to your family, what does your Mortgage Payoff Protector plan look like? Meaning that your family received a check large enough to be able to pay off the mortgage so they didn't have to worry about how they're going to make that next payment without your income, or potentially even being forced to make hard decisions like selling the house in the future or filing bankruptcy. What does that plan look like? That's simple. Ask that question, and you're going to get a response of, what are you talking about? I've never really thought about that. There was something out there like that, in which I want you to respond with, listen to me now. I want you to respond with this. Tell me more about that, right? So why, or would it be important to you? So would it be important to you in the event that you did pass away, you don't go home to your family, that your family received a check large enough to be able to pay off the mortgage so they didn't have to worry about how they're going to make that next payment or being forced to sell the childhood home? Would it be important to you? And when they respond with yes, tell me more about that. Why would that be important to you? I got a little ahead of myself earlier. Tell me more about that. Why would that be important to you? If you just do that right there, you will have massive success. Would it be important to you? And then tell me more about that. Why would it be important to you? They're actually going to get emotionally engaged in the conversation. They're going to tell you what's important to them so that you don't have to sell anything. Now you're just solving problems. So that is the question I want you to ask tomorrow. And if you want to go understand how to go even more in depth with that conversation, how to convert even more conversations into actually bound submitted policies, make sure you sign up for the 30 Life in 5 Days Challenge, because you get over 10 scripts, 10 talk tracks. You get training every single day of the challenge, and we're going to dive into that, plus more to tell you and show you and teach you exactly how to have success in that conversation along with others. Let's go into, let's also touch just base real fast on the new business P&C sales conversation. So after you're quoting the auto, you're going to pivot into the homeowners. Before you go into the details and coverage of the homeowners, I want you to ask this question right here. All right, so Mr. or Miss Customer, before we get into the homeowner's insurance, I just had a quick question for you. I apologize. I should have asked this earlier in the conversation. I know that you have a mortgage on your home. Let me just ask you real fast. What does your mortgage payoff protection plan look like? Meaning that if you do pass away today, we just talked about your car insurance. So let's say you get into an auto accident, you pass away unexpectedly. What does the plan look like to ensure that your family would receive a check large enough to be able to pay off the mortgage so that they didn't struggle making that payment without your income and potentially even being forced to maybe sell the house one day or file bankruptcy? What does that plan look like? Most people are going to respond with, I don't have that, never heard of that, didn't know that was available. Great. What are we going to ask here? Same thing as I shared with you earlier. I hope you're saying it out loud right now. Well, let me ask you, would it be important to you that if you did get into a freak accident today, you passed away, you didn't go home to your family, that your family received a check large enough to be able to pay off the mortgage so they didn't have to struggle making that payment or even being forced to make hard decisions down the road like selling the house or filing bankruptcy? Would it be important to you that you had a plan in place? When they respond with yes, what do you respond with? Tell me more about that. Why would that be important to you that you had a plan to where your family received a check large enough so they could pay off the mortgage and never struggle financially? Why would that be important to you? That's all you have to say. And when they respond with whatever their reasoning is, great. Included in the quote today is going to be a $400,000 mortgage payoff protection plan. Let's get into the homeowner's insurance and we can cover all the details about all the plans at the very end. Then you go into your homeowners. At the end of the conversations, when you're going to give the details around the policy, the terms and conditions, all that boring stuff that has to be said, right? You have to educate customers on what they're getting, but don't get too much in the weeds, right? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Simple sells. If you start giving a lot of details before it's time to actually submit the application and get payment information, you're going to kill the deal. So ask that question, solve the immediate need, tell them it's going to be included, and you'll get to the details later on in the conversation. Let's go ahead and get to the homeowner's insurance because they answered yes, it's important to them. They told you why they would want it protected. Now, what you're going to learn in the 30 Life in 5 Days Challenge is how to get them even more emotionally engaged in that conversation to where they're really telling you why that would be important to them, what would happen if they didn't have a plan in place, what they would want to happen, to where now we can also turn it from just a mortgage payoff protector into a true paycheck protection plan. But you see how we're now quoting $350,000, $400,000, $500,000 benefit policies just off the mortgage. The average homeowner, the average mortgage right now in the United States is around $350,000. This automatically increases your death benefit and this automatically increases your premium. In the 30 Life in 5 Days Challenge, you're going to learn how to take these conversations and turn them into $1 million benefit conversations all day long. So implement those into your conversation tomorrow. You will see immediate results.